Administration and people in uniform, what are you doing? What is it about uniform? Are people like putting fancy dress on? I mean, look at this guy, this Swiss guard of the Vatican. And they've got guns, these people. I mean, being shot is bad enough, but being shot by someone in pyjamas must be a nightmare. Bloody hell. Oh, the world's mad. That's where it came in, isn't it? Bloody hell. Anyway, all these people, these have families and grandchildren and children and all that stuff, and they're hijacking their future. As they, the Occupy protesters say to the police, you're the 99% too. Because there are so few in full knowledge who are manipulating humanity that they have to recruit from the target population to enforce their agenda upon the target population. And all these people, these first responders, 9/11, who are now dying of the diseases of breathing in what they knew was in that debris, who are denied the finances even for the drugs and stuff to treat what they have. All these people losing limbs and losing lives in wars of conquest and wars of tyranny. I mean, defending and increasing the opium crop. This is the opium production in Afghanistan and the CIA control. This is since the takeover or the invasion. That was the little bit when the Taliban, I got a brief for the Taliban, I mean, don't start me off, but on this, look at it. The troops are defending the opium crop, and they're losing their limbs, and they're killing kids and things for it. Bertrand Russell said, many a man will have the courage. It's a funny thing, this, physical courage and moral courage. So often people find physical courage easier. Many a man will have the courage to die gallantly, but will not have the courage to say or even think that the cause for which he is asked to die is an unworthy one. It's about time they did. Don't tell me, people in uniform, that when you're killing kids, that you're just following bloody orders. No. As Woody Guthrie said, I would like to see every single soldier on every single side just take off your helmet, unbuckle your kit, lay down your rifle and sit down on the side of some shady lane and say, nope, I ain't gonna kill nobody. Plenty of rich folks want to fight, give them the guns. Come on, people in uniform. Put down your weapons. You're fighting for a system that is designed to destroy your freedom and your family's freedom. Put your guns down. For goodness sake. We don't want war. You probably don't, most of you want to fight wars, even though they're in bloody uniform. But we fight them anyway. This is what Henry Kissinger said about American troops. They're dumb, stupid animals to be used as pawns for foreign policy. That's what they think of you. Oh, support the troops. There, support the troops while they're serving the system. And when they challenge the system, put them in a psychiatric fricking home because they must be mad because they're questioning 9/11. They don't give a shit about you. They don't. You're just a pawn in a game, and when you're maimed and can't fight anymore, they'll get some more bloody pawns. I mean, they're putting troops into situations where they get radiation and diseases like Gulf War syndrome. These people that are so often, not all of them, but many of them, so officious and unpleasant of the TSA and the airport security and stuff, many of them are going down like 9 pins at some airports from the cumulative effect of radiation from the very bloody machines that they're putting people through. Now, they don't give a shit about you because they know some other mug will come along and stand there eventually, especially in a recession when people are desperate for money. Vacancies available. There you go, join the army. I'm digging my own grave now. That's a great idea, isn't it? What is it Senator George McGovern said? I think he died recently. What a great quote. He talked about old men dreaming up wars for young men to die in. Well, come on, young men and young women. Stop bloody dying in them then and stop killing others in them. Make a choice. It's your power. And what do they bloody do to the people that survived the wars, eh? In old age, oh, support the troops. And they cut back their bloody benefits and cut them back. We don't give a shit about you. You can't bloody fight anymore. No use to us. Albert Einstein, the pioneers of a warless world are the youth that refuse military service. And the older people that support them in that aim. I'm so proud my son is serving his country. Oh, really? You're proud that he's serving his bloody country in the way of putting himself in danger and killing bloody others. Oh, God, that's something to be proud of, Dad. The draft is coming. I want you for the US Army and all this stuff. Bollocks, we ain't doing it. Okay, we're having a draft. Everyone in the army, bugger off. We're not doing it. Where's their power? Their power is in our acquiescence to their demands. Enough! These are wonderful people. These Israelis are wonderful people who are going to prison because they will not serve the Israeli tyranny against Palestinians. Wonderful people. These Iraq veterans who've sussed it, who've seen what they were used for. Look at it. What are you doing? It's unbelievable. Know thyself. You're not a man in uniform, you are infinite awareness. And consciousness doesn't fight, because consciousness knows that that which is fighting is an expression of itself. Mind fights mind. 5 sense bubble fights 5 sense bubble. Consciousness doesn't fight, because it's too aware to do so. As someone brilliantly said, the real fight in terms of people in uniform and soldiers and military, the real fight is not with others, the real fight is with your own unconsciousness, with your own unawareness. Wake up and see it. And it's the same with people that think we should meet this challenge with riots and violence and all this stuff. What you fight, you become. I was talking to a policeman that used to police the opposing marches back in the 70s between the fascist kind of National Front and the anti-fascist marchers. And he used to say, nice bloke, he said to me, I couldn't tell the difference in their behaviour. What you fight, you become. It's amazing, these people who I call robot radicals, who they say freedom of speech, and then when you say something they don't like, they call for you to be stopped from bloody saying it. I love it. This is a meeting of mind. This is not a fight between consciousness, because consciousness doesn't fight. It's a meeting of mind, one in uniform and one anti-uniform, polarities. Martin Luther King again. The limitation of riots, moral questions aside, is that they cannot win, and their participants know it. Hence, rioting is not revolutionary, but reactionary, because it invites defeat. It involves an emotional catharsis, but it must be followed by a sense of futility. Oh, we've had a riot, let's go up the pub. What has it changed? Nothing. Yes, we need a revolution. But a revolution of human perception, a revolution of human awareness from which everything else comes. As the Beatles said, but when you talk about destruction, don't you know you can count me out? What's the point? You're just playing the same game and calling it a different name. We don't need to hate this control system, because if we hate the control system, we become the control system. We're bigger than that. We don't bloody take what it's trying to do and love in its true sense. My goodness me. You try messing with that in terms of telling it what to think and do. But you don't have to hate. You just become what you hate. It eats you away. It's a cancer. And all these bloody protests even. I mean, great. Do it. But, I call many of them steam whistles. We have 1 million people marches to Washington sometimes. What does it change? Usually nothing. We have great student demonstrations over tuition fees. What is changed? The tuition fees go up, nothing changes. On and on. 500,000 to 1 million people on the streets protesting against the imminent invasion of Iraq. What did they do? They invaded Iraq. They're not not frightened of protest. In places like the Middle East, they're manipulating lots of them. This is not changing anything in Greece. What we need to do is realize what freedom is and realize who we are, and then we might have a chance of bringing this to an end. Because I look in Egypt and I saw all those people, and it was very, very, very moving to see those people celebrating the end of Mubarak and equating it with freedom. But the same bloody people, or not all of them, but a lot of them, while they were protesting in that square and demanding freedom, were doing that 5 times a day. So don't talk to me about freedom, because that ain't bloody freedom. What they're terrified of is not protest, but in us coming together, no matter what race, no matter what religion or no religion, no matter what income bracket, and healing the fault lines, the manufactured fault lines of divide and rule. That's what they're terrified of, because they have to divide and rule us, because together it's a fly on an elephant's back that we're dealing with here. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Part of that coming together is that someone else's injustice is our injustice. If we only think injustice is worth challenging when it's something that affects us, we are allowing that cancer of injustice to grow and grow and grow, and eventually it will knock on our door. As Pastor Nehemiah said, first they came for the Jews, and I was not a Jew, so I did nothing. Then they came for the communists. I was not a communist, so I did nothing. Then they came for the trade unionists. I was not a trade unionist. I did nothing. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak out for me. Okay, now they're coming for the Muslims. Now they're coming for the Syrians. Now they're coming for the Libyans. Now they're coming for former soldiers in America who they're targeting, what they call veterans and all the rest of it. Then they're coming for so-and-so. Then they're coming for so-and-so. Not my problem, not my problem, not my problem, not my problem. Knock, 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 late at night. Oh dear, I wonder who that could be. We need to stop complying and start defying by non-complying. There will be no change. We have to comply with our own enslavement, because the numbers mean we cannot be enslaved.